Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment and fans of Ween. Ooh, that smells. Ooh. Anyway, I'm in case you don't know, I'm doing a ranking of all of the Ween albums, just the studio albums, and I've already done their first one, God, Ween, Satan. This is their second album, The Pod. Anyway, I've told this story before, but just in case you're a new viewer to this channel, I'd always, through the years, I'd always heard of Ween, but never checked out their music. Didn't have any interest in them, even though, I had read that they're kind of Sparks influenced a little bit. I know that Dean Ween is a big Sparks fan. So it wasn't until a CD exchange with Brian Massey a couple of years ago, and he gave me the Ween album Quebec to listen to. And I was really impressed with it, and I think I gave it probably a 10 out of 10 rating. And I ended up buying the album. Loved it. So I thought, hey, I'm going to buy more Ween albums. And I, of course, heard about The Pod, that it was, a pretty strange album and all that. But since I loved Quebec, I thought, hey, I'm going to love The Pod too. Boy, was I wrong. The first time I listened to it all the way through, and I hated every second of it. And so I put it in my CD collection, and it sat there for a good 2 or 3 weeks. And then I guess one night I was wondering what to listen to, and I thought of this album again, and I thought, I'll give it one more go. Because sometimes, you don't like an album on the first listen, but you end up loving it. And the second listen was much, much better. I finally kind of got it. And by the third listen, I loved this album. So I'm a big Ween fan now, and thanks again to Pal for the 2 Ween t-shirts she sent me, and she also sent me some of these CDs, because some of them are hard to get or expensive. One thing I didn't mention in the first episode was Ween are known for what's called their brown sound. And so I did this. There's a big write-up on it. I won't read it all, but I'll just the start of it. Ween's brown sound refers to the band's distinctive, eclectic, and often deliberately lo-fi or raw musical aesthetic that defines much of their work. And they blend a wide range of genres, rock, funk, country, psychedelia, and more, with a quirky, irreverent humor and a do-it-yourself ethos. The brown quality often implies a gritty, unpolished edge, sometimes intentionally sloppy or absurd, as heard on albums like God, Ween, Satan, or The Pod. And another thing I want to mention is the sound quality. And I've read reviews, from Ween fans, and they kind of say how bad the sound quality is, And I like the sound quality. It's recorded on a 4-track tape deck, but for me, listening on headphones, it's not Abbey Road, don't get me wrong, but still, it sounds really good to me. God, Ween, Satan, and The Pod, overall. There might be a song or two, right? But yeah, I really like the sound quality of these. And later on, with some of their their later albums, they would be more studio quality recordings. So the way I do my rating is it's out of 5 stars each song, so from 5 stars to 0 stars, but I don't think there's going to be anything lower than maybe 2.5 stars, if that, because like I said, I love Ween. So there are 2 songs at the lowest with a 3.5 stars each. And they are Moving Away at 22 and Boing at 23. I still, really like them, but not as much as the other songs. And then there's 4 songs with 4 stars. Number 21, She F's Me. I think you know what that, the full title, but I don't want to say it. Number 20 is Alone. Number 19 is Sorry Charlie. And number 18 is Right to the Ways and the Rules of the World. Now, most of these songs, like I said, I really do like them, but they're, for the most part, they're very slow and they drag on. I think one of them is like 5 minutes long. It's like, oh, this is going to go on forever. But like I said, I still do enjoy them quite a bit. And I think sometimes Ween, they do things just to annoy the regular listener. But I'm not a regular listener, so I usually don't get annoyed. Except at the first listen of the album. Now, 17 of these are 5 stars. So that's pretty good. And I'll go in order from 17 to what my number 1 song is for the album. So from 17 to 1, Laura, Don't Sweat It, Strap On That Jammy Pack, the opening song. And I will say this, if you're going to try and check out Ween, don't listen to the pod. You probably won't like it. Go with one of their later albums like Quebec or The Mollusk. Chocolate and Cheese is another really good one. And save the more, hard to get into albums for later on. So yeah, Strap On That Jammy Pack, the opening song. If you can get by that, like if you don't, if you want to skip that song, then forget it. Don't even bother listening to the pod. But it gets better with every listen, and you kind of get what they're aiming at too, in a way. So number 14 is Demon Sweat, Molly. My girlfriend's name is Molly, although Molly spells her name M-O-L-L-I-E, not M-O-L-L-Y. Number 12 is Oh My Dear, Falling in Love. And then Frank, Pork Roll, Egg and Cheese, which is mentioned in more than one song. On this album, they're kind of obsessed with pork roll, egg and cheese. Number 9 is Can You Taste the Waste? Then Paulo Asado, if that's how you pronounce it. Number 7 is The Stallion Part 1. Number 6, I love these songs. Number 6 is Awesome Sound. Number 5 is Captain Fantasy. Number 4 is Mononucleosis. Number 3 is Dr. Rock. Number 2 is The Stallion Part 2. And number 1, one of my favorite Ween songs, is Sketches of Winkle. And, speaking of the production, on Captain Fantasy, the sound quality is like it's distorted, like when you're recording and you hear pop noises with the microphone because you're too close to the microphone. That's in the whole song. And I think even on like the second listen, because I like the song so much, it doesn't bother me. I think it actually in some way adds to the song because it's Ween. So like I said, it doesn't bother me at all. But it's not, for that song, it's not the greatest sound quality. And so overall, I don't have the sheet with Godwin Satan, but I think the pod I've just rated just a tad lower than their debut. But still, a 4.67 out of 5. That's how much I love this album. And so there's one more that's kind of similar to the first two, Pure Guava. And then, like I said, after that, it's more professional studio quality. But still, kind of crazy. And like I've said about Ween, whatever song you listen to, if it's one of their crazy songs, and you might think at first, oh, this is terrible or whatever, they are seriously great musicians. Dean Ween is an excellent guitarist. You will hear some great guitar work throughout the whole Ween catalog. And Gene Ween, the main singer, Dean does a little on some vocals, but Gene Ween, like I said, they use tape manipulation on some songs, speed it up a bit or whatever. But in concert, he can do some of the crazy voices that are on some of these albums without tape manipulation. And he's just got a wide range of things that he can do with his vocals, and just an excellent singer overall. And, throughout their career, they would sometimes do, believe it or not, some serious songs. And so I just think they're a great band, and I hope, when I do these videos, it's always makes me feel good when I know that somebody out there listens to me and checks out an artist like Sparks. A lot of my viewers have become Sparks fans because, I started talking about them a few years back, not expecting them to become fans, but they did. And so that's, one of the reasons I'm doing this series is if you don't know of Ween, check them out. But like I said, maybe don't start with their earlier albums. Go with Quebec or Chocolate and Cheese or The Mollusk. And that is it. I would love your thoughts about Ween. Like I said, this series, it's doing okay, and it's getting a few comments, but not everybody knows Ween, so it doesn't get as many comments as some of my other videos. So if you are a Ween fan, please support this series by leaving a comment below and liking the video. And also, if you can, share it with other people that you know are Ween fans or in Ween forums or whatever. That would help. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a very Ween day. Bye.